Situated at the junction of the subtropical and tropical zones, Taiwan is surrounded by the ocean and caressed by the monsoon winds. In this 36,000 square kilometers area, creating a multifaceted forest combining tropical, temperate and Arctic climate zones. On this rocked and steep terrain, plants took root and grew into forests, which have protected the land of Taiwan for millions of years. Trees and plants hold tightly to the land, not only providing habitats for living things, sheltering water sources, and nurturing organisms in downstream areas. Nevertheless, as a result of the rugged and steep landscape and monsoon climate, trees are often torn away from mountain forests after typhoons and torrential rains. On August 8, 2009, Typhoon Morakot made landfall on Taiwan, bringing unprecedented rainfall of more than 2,000 millimeters in just 3 days, which caused several hundred deaths and left more than 10,000 people homeless. Over 30,000 hectares of forest lands in southern and central Taiwan were affected by landslides, and vast amounts of rock, soil and trees were washed to the lowlands by the floodwaters. A huge amount of driftwood was found among the flood stem. These trees should not be considered waste. Rather, they are the property of all citizens and should be treated appropriately as soon as they leave the forest. According to the November 2010 Typhoon Morakot Landslide Aerial Survey Report conducted by the Area Survey Office, the result of the interpretation of landslide areas in December 2009 showed that landslide scars increased from 22,696 hectares before Typhoon Morakot to 48,605 hectares afterward, an increase of 25,000 hectares. The Taiwan Forestry Bureau sent out extensive manpower and machinery in the cleanup campaign, despite the fact that it had never confronted any similar cleanup tasks, and manpower and machinery were in short supply at the start of the post-typhoon reconstruction period. Forestry agencies nevertheless overcame all difficulties and plunged into salvage work, especially farmland and fishing harbor cleanup. The forestry workers have to work under terrible weather conditions, collecting and shipping valuable timber. They have to overcome obstacles to safeguard this valuable property for public good. On the morning after rain from Typhoon Morakot had passed, the fishermen of Fugang Fishing Port woke up to the sight of teeming driftwood in their harbor. Thanks to correct decision-making, which ensured that forestry agencies could cooperate with the Coast Guard Administration, Fishery Agency, Water Resources Agency, and local county governments, Fugang Fishing Port might be clogged with driftwood for a long time. The shoreline of the Gaoping River suffered the most damage, and there were 200,000 tons of driftwood in the rivers and farmlands in Jiuru Township. At the time, forestry agencies assigned more than 1,800 persons and 1,649 pieces of machinery to the Jiuru area, and coordinated between relevant agencies in supplying funding for the cleanup. After Typhoon Morakot, transportation in some areas around Qishan was cut off. The Forestry Bureau used machinery to reopen the roads, clean up driftwood, and assist banana growers to rebuild the banana groves. Not only that, the forestry agencies have also tried hard to find appropriate places for the driftwood. In the past, the standard procedure for handling driftwood was that workers first had to mark valuable wood before all driftwood was removed and shipped. However, this time, in order to speed up the process and restore farm cultivation, all the timber was removed first, regardless whether if it had resale value, and was later marked and handled further. The cleanup of low-value driftwood fragments is rather troublesome. After a period of research, the forestry agencies finally found inappropriate dumping places for them. They were shipped to a place called the Grand Canyon by the local people in Gaoshu Township, Pingtung County. In contrast, timber that had useful value was sent to Changchi Township in Pingtung County. On this flat and open site, workers separate timber into valuable woods and ordinary woods. Because an immense amount of driftwood had been created by Typhoon Morakot, the government encouraged private enterprises to assist with cleanup efforts. In addition, the general public was allowed to come here to pick timber. Many poignant stories emerged after the storm. Through a driftwood art carving competition, forestry agencies enabled artists to portray moving images of the disaster through their art, while also increasing natural beauty and making good use of driftwood resources.
今天这个活动有一个多元化的利用，展示我们多元化的内容，以及希望透过这样宣导教育，大家怎么样来珍爱我们的自然资源。希望透过这样展示我们的漂流木多元利用，也促进我们灾区文化的重建加速，这是我们主要的用意。今天这个活动除了这个木雕有8位大师创作以外，还有20位创作的艺术家。 在这边集体有10天的一个创作期间，它还有一个最主要的工艺人才的培训工作，包括我们雕刻的技师的培育，包括工艺加工的培育，包括家庭生活创作的培训工作，充实他们的技能，将来提升他们就业的机会。
The Driftwood's installation art competition also used diversified usage of driftwood as its theme. The participating schools and communities selected and shipped driftwood to the installation location for art creation work. Taidong was one of the worst hit areas of the August 8 floods. Domestic and foreign carving masters were invited to the 2009 East Coast International Driftwood Art Exhibition to use the wonderful natural resource of driftwood for their carvings. On the 1-year anniversary of the August 8 floods, the Forestry Bureau hosted a Toward the Sun Torch Passing Driftwood Studio opening ceremony in Duoliang, Taidong County's home of the sunrise, and chose the long unused Duoliang Elementary School, Tamale Township, as the main site of the woodworking studio. This has created sustainable opportunities for the local residents and put driftwood into service as means of rebuilding their homes. All of them will achieve energy saving and carbon reduction better than incineration, and also decrease forest cutting, regardless which method is used for the recycling. At present, thanks to the availability of high-tech carbonization, we can expect to obtain even more economic value from driftwood. As a result of steep topography and abundant rainfall, in conjunction with frequent typhoons and earthquakes, landslides are common occurrence in Taiwan. Even more landslides than usual occurred after the August 8 floods. Forestry personnel use orthophoto maps to find landslides from their coordinates. Landslide remediation tasks usually prioritize restoration and afforestation work aimed for the safeguarding people's livelihoods and important roads. As a rule, natural restoration methods are used in remote areas. This landslide is located along the Lija Forest Road in Typhoon County. Removal of dangerous boulders. Based on the topography and direction of water flow, work personnel will design diversion ditches and drainage and interception projects. This is complicated yet important work. The methods used to install piles and water revetments are determined by the slope and geological conditions. The piles are usually sunk along contour lines in parallel rows. The water revetments between the bamboo or wood piles are made from pieces of bamboo or other easily decomposed, low environmental burden materials. This method is employed to hold down unstable rocks and soil, improve the slope, and prevent erosion. The Lija Forest Road landslide is only one of the landslide remediation projects planned and implemented by the Forestry Agency in the wake of the August 8 floods. BC Forest District's personnel can be seen working hard on dusty, unsightly landslide scars throughout central and southern Taiwan. Ravaged by the wind and rain, these battered mountain forests eagerly look forward to regeneration. Devastated Shaolin Village in Kaohsiung County's Namasha district eagerly awaits the seeds of hope. Following the disaster, the Taiwan Forestry Bureau relied on high-resolution satellite images to calculate that landslides in vicinity of Shaolin Village occupied an area of 260.59 hectares and required urgent remediation. The Bureau then embarked on a maximum effort surveying campaign. The local forestry agency completed restoration of 105.1064 hectares of landslide sites in the Shaolin area during 2010 and 2011. The August 8 floods also caused a 54.41 hectares landslide along Fengshan Creek in Pingdong. Restoration of 8.5 hectares was completed in 2011. The Wanping mountain area is on the route to Alishan National Forest Recreation Area in Jiayi County. As of 2011, restoration of 73.5 hectares of the 130 hectares landslide scar had been completed. A landslide occupying 20 hectares occurred in the Yuzhang area of Tainan County during the August 8 floods. The local forestry agency had completed restoration of 9 hectares of landslide sites in the Yuzhang area as of 2011. Green shoots are rising from soil ravaged by the August 8 floods, and fragrant flowers are blooming. Large and small earthquakes and typhoons have occurred frequently in recent years, leaving barren scars across this once lush island. After each natural disaster, people must work hard to heal the wounded land. The threat of global warming and extreme climate conditions makes our restoration and afforestation mission all the more urgent. By replenishing forest resources and also ensuring that forests are used for the public good, we can prevent disasters and minimize their harm. When each typhoon passes, we can again see burgeoning life amidst the returning sun rays.